have feedback from you that are just listening this webinar, or indirect, or just our point of views, because real we don't know. We just share our ideas. We just share how we deal with our projects according our vision, and each one must understand by themselves constantly what he feels about the ocean itself. But when we talk about the ocean, we talk about any conditions that the ocean can have. Ocean can be unpredictable. Ocean are unpredictable. Waves can be bigger, giant, real flat ocean can appear in a second just after a big torment. And this torment appears just in the bottom of the ocean. If you can see an ocean and you can just observing, just making the observation of an ocean, you can see that um, we can observe that the movement, it's just on the bottom of the ocean. If you're going a little bit down, you can find just silence, completely different of the torment that we have just in the bottom of the ocean. And this is exactly what's happening in our minds. Our minds are sometimes very with a lot of movement. Thoughts appear, and then emotions appear after the thoughts, and sensations, feelings, and that real creates a chaos in our lives, in our moments, in our jobs, in our companies, in our startups. And definitely these moments of torment that just appear in ocean as in ourselves are just moments itself, are just moments that we need just to understand that in the bottom of that, when you reels going down, as the picture can you can see in the picture, that if you're going down, that's a real new world to see, a new real world to feel. And then you can start to feel that peace, that inner peace, that inner joy that you can find just when you dive inside. And this diving inside, it's basically what we are a real propose to everyone that came to our programs with Renko. The idea of diving inside of self-discover is a great idea for understanding a little bit about our movements, a little bit about the impermanent of life, that our movements are real impermanent. They are not permanent. If you observe, they just come and go, just come and go, as waves in the oceans. And that's the same in the companies, that's the same in the startups, that's the same for leadership. You cannot see a market always in the flat position. It's always moving. Winds, currents, waves, everything is moving. Directions always changing. Clients that appears, clients that disappears, stocks that move up and down, uh, markets, economy, and the markets that are just sometimes we are in the wave that's going up, sometimes we are in a wave that's coming down, and the markets are moving. The competitors are also moving, appear, disappear. And this is also the movement inside ourselves that we can see, that we can have. an idea about what's going on. And leadership in the ocean, when we're talking about our program, is real about self-discovery. And when you're going in the process of self-discovery, we're starting to understand a little bit about this movement, a little bit about ourselves. And then we can realize about our consciousness and awareness of all things that just are appearing in ourselves. Basically, emotions, because for each thought, emotions appear. And those emotions we can follow or not. Those emotions we can believe that are true or not. The greatest thing is when you starting to realize that the thoughts are real thoughts or not real thoughts. The thoughts are real, an expression of the same consciousness. And this expression, you could believe or not, you could find this expression a way that you follow or not follow. When you start to self-discover yourself and starting to realize that this is just a thought, and this thought is not true by itself, your life is starting to change. Our proposal in Henko program is basically for going in this discovery, going on this self-discovery. In these 3 days, we're just starting this process. We're just starting to going in an observation and concentration mode, where you start to understand that concentration and attention is very important, because when you put the attention in thoughts and emotions, and this is your attention, you're giving strength, you're giving power to them. And if you empower an emotion, the emotion starting to growing up, and maybe the emotion is happiness, and then you are in a happiness wave. But if not an happiness, you can have anger, and you can just ride that anger wave. You just starting to behave as the anger, and you sometimes you just feel it that you are the anger itself. If you are in meeting in the if you are in the middle of a meeting, if you are in the middle of a negotiation, and anger take cares of you, then the negotiation or the meeting is going on that direction, the emotion direction. And these are things that we are working as skills in Henko. And why the ocean? Why we use this analogy with the ocean? Because the ocean have the perfect measuring, the perfect aspects, the perfect things that give us the perfect analogy for understanding our behavior in our activities in our life. And then when you go into the real surfing, when you're going surfing the waves or surfing the ocean, we're starting to understand this with more awareness. We're starting to understand this fantastic analogy between the ocean and leadership. And basically, if you can see it, one of the most important aspects when you are in the startup or in a business is resilience. And if you are in ocean, if you are surfing, resilience is also one of the most important factors, because you can quit very fast, because the waves are very strong, because you cannot move, because the wind it's also very strong, or there's some current there. And resilience, and not only physical resilience, but basically emotional resilience, with all the diversities that just starting to open, just starting to 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 arise in the moment that you are in the water or you are in your business. Observation is a quality that gives you the first step for acceptation is real the first deal that you have made to do when you are in the ocean, when you are in your leadership, leading some project, leading some company, leading yourself. Acceptation is basic. And for accepting, you must observe before that there's something that you need to accept. And then motivation appears from this. The motivation appears when you are just in control of yourself without being in control, as the word itself means. Control is not controlling nothing. Control, in this case, it's just accepting what it is as it comes and making decisions in the way, in the path, in the present moment. And this is Renko. Renko is this path, and we divided Renko. Basically, we divided Renko in two parts in these 3 days. The morning part, when we start to use some tools as yoga, very, very, very important for stretching, for connecting body-mind, for understanding a little bit our body, for understanding that our body is very important in our experience, our professional and personal experience. And then meditation. Meditation is another tool for us to understand more about ourselves, more about the movements of the mind, the movements of the emotions and sensations in our body. And from that point, we start to training concentration and attention. Definitely very important in the way of happiness itself. There's a study that has been done that connected happiness with attention and concentration. It's very interesting. The scientists discovered that the attention itself, in one way, getting you more happy in your daily projects, in your daily life, if you are just concentrating one thing at a time. We think that we are multiprocessors or multitaskers, but definitely this is possible. But our attention will give us a definitely better life. And in the afternoon, and after the surfing classes and the surfing experience with these analogies in the morning, in the afternoon we have the workshops to talk about everything we have done, we have explained before, about the skills, about the options we have, about self-discovering, self-awareness, and practicing practicing a lot of tools that we have, the analogies itself, and we make exercises and we work together as a group, and especially work as individuals, by individuals. Then this is Renko, and I hope you can surf our webpage. It's renkoexperience.com. In there you can find our programs that are divided now in different spots in Portugal and Spain, and those spots also divided in programs in Spanish and English. And this is the team. You're gonna see the team. Myself, Vivian, and Elena. We are the co-founders of Renko. Each one have a job inside, but our job together is bring you a new way to see leadership and to see yourself in life and in your startup. And definitely the movements are real different, real when you leave Renko, when you leave our programs, your life change, not because we change your life, but maybe in that 3 days you start to be aware of anything new in your life and your company that you don't have being awareness just before. I just needed one thing, not everything, just one thing to make the difference. Well, thank you very much to be here. Thank you very much to be in our presentation. I hope anything you can reach from this webinar, and you can contact us. You have the emails in this page, and we have our page, our web page. And please, any questions, we are here for give you some answer for you. And thank you very much for your presence here. Have a nice day. Thank you.